Monaco GP weekend. After a thrilling race in Imola, we move straight to Monaco on the outskirts of France, and from there we go to Spain. But coming to Monaco, we saw how dominant Max Verstappen was in Imola and how he was able to just outbreak Piastri. Lap 1, turn 2, took the lead of the race. And from there, he set himself apart to show everybody that the upgrades they brought worked, and also to show everybody that they are in it to win it, which means Max Verstappen is not bowing out of the title contention in 2025. He's really there. He wants to look at what is going to happen in 2025. This guy is not come to joke. Any little thing that works on the car, boy is out there turning mechanics into speed. And that was what he did yesterday in Imola. Going to Monaco for the Monaco GP. I always call the Monaco GP one of the worst GPs, but they will never remove it. You know why? No matter how worst it is, it makes money for Monaco, it makes money for F1, it makes money for the team, it makes a whole lot of money. Imagine people coming to Monaco to watch the GP, chartering a plane or a private jet, coming down in France, taking a bus to Monaco, getting on yachts, having parties all through the weekend. Why wouldn't they make money? Why would the economy boom? It's just a very beautiful environment, beautiful culture, beautiful people, an environment in which money is made. And also, the race is still rubbish because when you get ahead in Monaco, or whoever has the fastest car and is leading the race wins the race. That's the funny thing about Monaco. Track position matters. Let me give you an example. In 2018, Daniel Ricciardo won the Monaco GP with 5 transmission gears. His gears were not changing to 8. He was able to hold Hamilton back to win the GP. Hamilton won in 2019 with rubbish tires. He was able to hold Max Verstappen back. So that's how crazy Monaco is. You know how to hold back, hold people, gain track position, and defend. Forget about it, you've won Monaco. So it's a rubbish GP. Also in Monaco, when the rain comes, it becomes crazy because sometimes you may not be able to race. I remember in 2021, they had to red flag the race for some time before they started the race. One of the things that can happen in Monaco is when you have a fast car, you can easily overtake on the corners, cause accidents, move ahead without giving track position back, and you still gain points. A lot of things can happen. Tires can fail. The barriers are saying, come, come, come. The walls are saying, oh, we want to embrace you, we want to hug you. Any little mistake can turn to a disaster in Monaco. And we saw that last year between teammates Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, which set the tone that really decided Esteban Ocon leaving the team. Kevin Magnussen trying to overtake from the inside. He took Sergio Perez out, took himself out, and took his teammate out, putting a 0 point on us for that race. And when we talk about Monaco, you can find a lot of fun. Jumping into the river or into the swimming pool after winning the race is also something great. Now, Monaco Grand Prix has been held 81 whooping times. It was first held in 1929, and there were lots of track improvements they've done to the track. The latest one was done in 2015 for us to have the track we are using presently. Now, the Monaco GP is one of the clockwise GPs that we have, and one of the closest street racing that you would see in F1. So great to see that Ayrton Senna has been the most successful driver in Monaco, winning 6 races in Monaco, and the most successful constructor is Mclaren. Will Mclaren do that same this weekend? Let's hope they can do that. But the homeboy, Charles Leclerc, got his win last year, and that was his first win in his home race. Will Ferrari also be able to have good fortunes with their performance that was great in Imola? They have a decent performance in Monaco, but it's going to be great to see McLaren or Ferrari on the podium. Nice one. We go to the circuit length. The circuit length is a 3.337 kilometers. That's about 2.074 miles with a race length of 260.286 kilometers. That's a race length of 161.734 miles. The 78 lap race that can last great 2 hours. Lewis Hamilton still holds the fastest lap on the track, with Charles Leclerc winning the last year race, Oscar Piastri coming second, Carlos Sainz Jr. coming third. This would have been out from lap 1, but due to Kevin Magnussen's incident, the race was red flagged and he was able to get back the second position, and they started again, and still he was able to hold up and coming 3rd. The first practice will be on Friday, 23rd of May, with practice 1 coming around 12:30 p.m. and practice 2 around 4:30 p.m. Then on Saturday, 24th, the first practice 11:30 p.m. and the qualifying 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The race starts 2 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be a full-blown race that you are going to enjoy. But the Monaco GP is one of the most expensive GPs that you'll find on the calendar, with tickets going wonderfully as high as, for one person, €30, which could increase or reduce depending. For children, they have a free prize to come in for the race, depending on the grandstand in which they are. On Thursday, ticketing starts from €30, and on Friday, ticket starts from €150. On Saturday, ticket starts from €400 and above. But on Sunday, for the main race, when you are going on grandstand, you are going to be having €900 at least to watch the race, with the children going 50% of the price. But for adults, the cheapest is £900. On the weather, it is expected to be cool, with temperature of around 18 degrees to 20 degrees expected across all the 3 days, with 50% chance of rain during the qualifying on Saturday. But the race day will be dry, because if there is rain, it will scatter everything. Tire specs, we should be expecting the same tire specification that we had in Imola. That's the C6, C5 and the C4, with the C6 being the softest tire in the Pirelli range. How does this affect the race? Because this race would also have a tire determining factor. If you look at the Imola GP, we had the medium tire as the best tire for qualifying and the fastest tire for qualifying, but in the race we had the hard tires are the best tires for the race. The hard tires looking even faster than the soft tires for the main race on Sunday in Imola. Now, coming to Monaco, in which the reason for the soft tires, the C6 tires, is for us to have a more competitive race and more pit stops. Will the soft tires hold up? In Imola, we had people that used the medium tires. Some of them, they had a quick entry, in which later tells that after the first surface of the tire peels off, the tire becomes better. You can see Aja running the tires for about 33 laps, while some just did about 12 laps because the surface of the tire was peeling off and they do not have confidence in the tire. But on the other tires, a lot of people had confidence. When you are having C6 and they are trying to have more racing, more competition, I think a compulsory 2 stops should be implemented. No one will want to use the C6 tire from the experience they've had in Imola. So a lot of drivers, a lot of teams will come in trying to use the hard and the medium tires. When we are having 2 stops, the teams will now decide how to structure their stops that it will favor them and give them an advantage. And also, one of the things we are going to see is believing that some teams will still bring upgrades. I believe some teams will bring upgrades. Some of them will be track-specific upgrades. Imola, Monaco are not great places to bring upgrades, with Mercedes bringing upgrades to Monaco in 2023. And to me, it was, did they really show them where they need to get to? I believe no. So I think it's one of the places that you don't really need to bring upgrades, because the upgrade will not really show. But it was a beautiful race in 2024. It was dry, wet, dry. In 2023, we had a wet race that ended close to dry, and we had Max Verstappen winning the race, with Alonso coming second and Esteban Ocon giving Hamilton a run for his money to come third, and Lewis Hamilton and George Russell coming fourth and fifth. In 2022, we had a quite interesting race in which Sergio Perez took pole and won the race. Carlos Sainz coming second, Max Verstappen third, and Charles Leclerc fourth. It was an interesting race that year. In 2021, we had Max Verstappen winning conveniently, Carlos Sainz coming second, and Lando Norris coming third. Max Verstappen was able to win the race from pole position. And that same 2021 was the year in which Mercedes had an issue on Bottas's tire. They were unable to remove the front right tire. Even after the race, they had to take the car back to their facility in Britain to remove the tire and to know why the tire was not removing. And that was because the wheel lock jammed and they need to use some special tools to remove it. So you can see there are so many things that can end somebody's race in F1. It can be so beautiful, but something small can end it. Who do we expect to win in Monaco? I think I expect the Mclaren to be strong. the Red Bull to be very strong, because if you look at the Red Bull pace ending the Imola GP, the Red Bull looks very, very fast. We are even faster than the McLaren. And I think the second best team in Imola was Ferrari in the race. They were looking sharp and very good. It's a race between McLaren and Red Bull. Remember, we are going to have a different race setup, especially the beam wings, the DRS, and everything will change in Monaco. But how will they maximize the car? Let's see what will happen in Monaco. Up until Monaco, don't miss any of our videos and highlights. Like, share, subscribe. I love you guys. Bye. Cheers.